now available in paperback and e-readers. Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. One of the things that I found frustrating about being in the workplace was when you first get hired, co-workers working behind the scenes to get you fired. Now, when it comes to these co-workers, they're basically coming from a very selfish perspective in a lot of cases, and because they're only thinking about themselves, all they're thinking about is getting you out of the job because you're making them feel uncomfortable. And that discomfort is because many of these individuals just don't want to deal with the idea of change, and that you being there basically represents change to them as related to not only the job, but also about their life. And what these people do when they go out here and look to get a person fired is they wind up not understanding where things are coming from the perspective of the new hire or the perspective of the employer. Now, many of these individuals who go out here and look to get a person fired who just came on the job, this person is basically looking to, again, sate their feelings because they basically are feeling uncomfortable about being in the presence of a new person. And a lot of times what these people will do is they will look to go out here and nitpick details as related to that person, talking about their background or their experience, and use that as a reason to try to find ways to go out here and go to supervisors or the human resource department to try to cast doubt in their minds. And this is what I ran into when I was working at places like Strive East Harlem Employment Service, when I was working as part of AmeriCorps Vista, and when I was working at the City College of New York. I ran into individuals who were working at these companies, and just as I was coming in the door, they were looking to try to show me the door out. And they were looking to show me the door out, again, because they wanted to go out here and find someone who they would feel more comfortable working with. And when you have employees like this, these are employees who basically are looking to undermine your business and undermine your business, because what they're doing is saying that the people who went out here and hired that individual don't know their jobs. That's the insult that these individuals are doing in their passive aggressive behavior, in that passively they're sitting there trying to go out here and look to go out here and get in the face of your employee, but aggressively what they want to do is try to find ways to force that person to resign from that job so that they can go back to having their smooth world where they can feel comfortable about continuing to be some cases the big fish in the little pond, or be able to run their dysfunctional fiefdom. These individuals basically want to keep the status quo in place and don't want anybody to go out here and represent change that would basically make their entire world wind up getting completely disrupted. Now, when it comes to these individuals who look to get a person fired, again, when they go out here and do this to your new hires, they're basically looking to undermine the authority of management, and you're undermining the authority of management because what this person is doing is saying that they are actually supposedly smarter than the managers who went out here and hired a person, and that's a disrespect directed at not only that manager, or if you're a business owner, it's a disrespect directed straight at you when you have employees who have the audacity to go out here and say, hey, I don't really like this guy because of his such and such background. Now, the person, like myself, could be doing good work, but they don't like the person's background because they went to such and such college, or they have certain experience that they really are not comfortable about, or they come from a different background or a different lifestyle. And again, this isn't where this person is, again, disrespecting you as a boss because you sat down with that person in a job interview, and as you were sitting there with them in a job interview, you went over the specifics as related to the duties of that job. You went over all the things that you want that person to do in the job. And as you looked at that person's resume, they met the qualifications. So you, as a boss or a business owner, you made a business decision to hire this person. And now you've got this other person who wants to, again, feel like they are comfortable in a social environment. And that really is, again, something that person needs to get over, because in business is not about comfort. No, business is about competition. And a good leader, what they do is go out here and let these coworkers know that if you have a problem with who I'm hiring, then maybe you need to go find yourself another job, because as the leader of this organization, I chose this person because of the merits of their abilities, chose that person based on the qualifications of their abilities. And since I chose that person, you don't have a right to go out here and tell me that this person isn't a good fit. You don't have a right to tell me who's a good fit if I've decided to choose this person. And you don't have a right to go out here and try to overstep my authority as a business owner or a boss. I mean, this is the type of disrespect that, again, some coworkers participate in, because some bosses and owners are not on point. But bosses and owners who are on point, what they're going to do when they have an individual come out here and say, oh, I really don't want this person in this job, and I don't feel comfortable with this person in this job. Now, if they're participating in criminal activity or violent behavior or just antisocial behavior, you have a right to make those claims. But if that person is coming in to work every day and minding their business, then you don't have a right to say anything to that person or go out here and look to undermine that person. No, you don't have a right to go out here and undermine that person by going out here and looking to say things that would go out here and look to, again, mess that person up. No, you don't have a right to do that, because that person has a right to go out here and work. They have a right to go out here and work as long as they're minding their business and doing their job. And what happens with these kind of coworkers is they create a hostile workplace where no work gets done and a lot of tension builds up, because this person, again, is looking to feel emotionally secure. But the workplace isn't about emotional security. It's, again, about competition. And if you can't stand seeing another person in a job and it's related to things, that really shows that there's something wrong with your workplace. And again, shows there's something wrong with the leadership, because the leadership is supposed to shut stuff like that down, because no employee has a right to tell people that they shouldn't have a job or look to get people fired, because that's undermining your business, and it's also undermining your productivity. It undermines your productivity when people are in your business and looking to get people fired, because when you hire people at a business, what happens is you're investing in that person, you're investing time in that person, you're investing money in that person. And when you invest time and money in that person and they wind up having to leave, guess what? You've lost money on that person and you've lost productivity, because usually when it comes to employees, it takes 90 to 180 days in order for a person to adjust to a workplace, and it takes 90 to 180 days for a person to just find their groove in a workplace. And when you have employees sabotaging that process, guess what? That's thousands of dollars coming out your pocket if you're a small business owner, and thousands of dollars coming out of your pocket as related to the corporate business, again, out of your budget, because many corporations, you have budgets for your department, and when you hire a new person and you have coworkers working against that person, they are taking money straight out your budget, and then they're also taking time out of your budget, taking time because, again, once this person leaves and you have to go look for another person, so you've got to go out here and start putting up listings to look for another person. You've got to cut time out of different projects in order to interview another person. You've got to try to implement ways to get this new person in. And again, you're spending twice as much money on your budget, whether you be a small business owner or a large business owner, and this person is costing you a bunch of money because they're in their feelings, and that's where you have, as a boss, have to come in and check that individual. You have to come in and check them folks, because them folks is costing you money, and even more is costing you time, because if you're in a busy period where you need people right now and that person is out here looking to get people fired, again, this is going to impact your productivity, and it's going to impact your ability to be able to service customers. And again, people who are so caught up in their feelings about, oh, so-and-so is a new person coming in and I don't like that person. Again, that's hurting your business, because the business is not about your feelings. It's about getting the things done in a productive manner. And a lot of folks at these jobs, they really don't think about this. No, all they're thinking about is, I want to be comfortable. I'm not really feeling good, so I want to get this person fired. And again, want to make the workplace a hostile environment to the new hire by doing things like not introducing you to managers, not introducing you to essential coworkers, not going out here and looking to, again, make the workplace more of a place where the person can get adjusted. No, not looking to be professional, but looking to get personal, because this person comes from a different lifestyle or a different way of life, or they're just, again, completely different from what you're experiencing, or coming from a different culture. Again, this is the type of hostility that I have run into in the workplace as a heterosexual black man. And I've run into this hostility, and again, it just is one of the worst things I've ever had to deal with, is people who are trying to get you out the door, not understanding the struggles you had to go through to even get in the door. And that's the other part is related to these people who try to get people fired, is many of these people don't know where you're coming from. And that's what I've run into when I was out in the job market. Many of these people, they're just so caught up in their own world as related to work, they don't understand where you are coming from. No, many of these people don't know the struggles you had to go through to try to get back on your feet. In some cases, like myself, again, when I first got that job at Strive, I had just came out of a 2-year long-term unemployment from walking away from a job in a supermarket, and I finally got something. And again, just as I was coming in, people wanted to get me out. And the same thing happened to me in 2008. As I was looking to get this job at City University of New York. I had come out of a long-term unemployment after winding up things not working out at a law firm, and I was living off of $60 a month a family member was giving to me, and I'm trying to get back up on my feet. And as I'm trying to get back up on my feet, I'm trying to get myself together, I'm trying to get stuff together, and as I'm trying to get stuff together, what I'm running into are these coworkers who wind up getting angry about, oh, you wrote a book. Oh, I'm angry because you're coming from a different background. I'm angry because I have to deal with changes in life because one of the people who was working there for 30 years wound up retiring, which was their right to do, and they were feeling their own mortality, seeing a 34-year-old man coming in. Again, not understanding that I'm coming in trying to get myself together, and again, you're trying to get me out the door because you want your smooth world. And again, this is the selfishness that I have run into from people. Run into this selfishness because they've got theirs, and screw anybody else. Not look to accommodate another person. Not look to understand where another person is coming from. Not understand that people basically are coming off of rough periods. Sometimes people come out of long situations where they're long-term unemployed. They're trying to get themselves together, and we're not trying to be friends at this point because I'm still trying to work stuff out. And again, a lot of people don't understand where a person is coming from. I mean, a lot of people don't understand where a person is coming from as related to their personal struggles, and all they'll do is sit there and think, oh, this guy, he really shouldn't be here. I don't really want this person here. And again, that's the kind of hubris that absolutely disgusts me about many people at a lot of these jobs. Again, only thinking about themselves and really just caught up in their feelings of insecurity about having to deal with a completely different person. Again, a person who comes from a different way of life or a different walk of life. And again, you want that person gone. And again, don't see how you're destroying a person's chances as related to them getting themselves together, and not understanding, again, a lot of times folks just trying to get themselves together, trying to get their stuff together, and because this person is in their feelings, oh, I'm looking to be a tattletale, I'm looking to be a snitch, I'm looking to go dig up some dirt on this person who just got hired, and again, not thinking about where this person is coming from, not thinking, oh, this person could be dealing with issues such as anxiety, such as stress, just coming out of long-term unemployment, because when you come out of long-term unemployment, I can tell you from experience, again, it's a major transition because you're dealing with anxiety about coming into a new work environment, and that's already enough stress as it is, and these people further compound that stress. They further compound that stress because they don't really think about anybody outside of themselves. No, they only think about how the workplace is for them. They don't understand a person is just looking to come in back, get stuff back on track. And instead of giving that person the time to be able to adjust and try to understand where another person is coming from, no, what they do is just, oh, this person isn't coming and doing like we expected, isn't rushing to, again, know where everything is. Again, you can't know where anything is because this is a completely different job, and you have to learn the culture, you have to learn the way of life as related to this job, and that takes time to adjust. But these people have unrealistic expectations, expect you to come in and so-called hit the ground running. But if I don't know how this workplace works, and I don't know who the people are who are in different departments, I don't know wherever anything is in this company. This is where people just don't understand. Again, they are so caught up in being in their own world, they can't see anybody outside of that world. And these are the people who look to get somebody out, not understanding this person struggled to get in. I mean, in the case of me, when I was looking at Strive, it took me, again, months to find that job, and there was a delay with that job where I had to wait 6 months for that job to come as related to volunteering there. And with the City University of New York, it took me, again, going through saving up money to, again, I saved up a lot of $30 to pay for that civil service test, and I failed the first one. Then I had to go out here and save up more money to go get the second one. And then I wound up not getting anything in the first hiring pool. And again, people don't understand the process that a man goes through. They don't understand the struggles a man goes through in order to get to a certain point. No, all they're thinking about is, I want to close the door on that person just as they're coming in and find somebody I can feel so-called comfortable with, as you being friends when there are no friends in business. No friends in business, but you can't explain this to people who want to just want to have their smooth world with no problems, conflicts, or obstacles. No problems, conflicts, or obstacles as related to their work life, not understanding this person fought to get to this point, and again, fought to get to this point because it was a struggle to get here. This is what people don't really understand. They don't understand how hard it is for somebody to get someplace, but they want to kick that person out, talking about, we don't want you here, we're not comfortable, we're looking to get you out of this job just as you was trying to get in. And again, many managers don't really see how these people sabotage your business because they are having the arrogance and audacity to question your leadership, having the arrogance and audacity to question your leadership and say, hey, we know better than you. No, that's not how a leader runs an organization. No, a leader who runs an organization understands that, again, when people start asking these kind of questions, this is where you check these individuals and check them because they are going to cost you money, cost you time, cost you productivity because, again, all these people, again, they want to be comfortable so they can coast as related to things, but business isn't about coasting. I'll repeat it once more. Coasting is about competition. Business is about competition, not about coasting. And again, a business person understands, again, you can't let your feelings get in the way because you see a new person. Now, that person may have a different approach to working, but as long as the approaches get us results, that's all that matters. And again, a lot of people, they want to, again, be comfortable. And again, that undermines your company because you basically have a person who is basically making your company less competitive because, again, I'll repeat it once more, firing people who just come in, it does devastating damage not only to the person who you pushed out the door, but it also does devastating damage to your business because it shows that that business has no direction. And again, you have the inmates running the asylum, or you have people, again, looking to run your ship. And again, if I have this person and I'm hiring them to do a certain job, it's their job to do that job and not be a person who's the leader. No, the person I delegated the task to is the leader. And that's what many employers really have to understand when you're dealing with these coworkers who look to sabotage people. These coworkers who look to sabotage people are your worst enemy in these businesses because they go out here and destroy your business, because they destroy your chain of command. They destroy your authority as a formal authority figure. They destroy your order in your business. And they basically, again, looking to get people out, can just destroys people's lives. Like, it basically derailed my entire life. I'm just trying to get stuff back on track, and then it winds up getting derailed. And again, people, again, all they're thinking about is themselves, and it just would frustrate me all the time about how people just, again, are so selfish. Again, selfish to the point where all they're thinking about is, oh, I want to be around somebody with Ivy League degrees. Like when I was working at Strive, I want to be around people who, again, have these college degrees, who, again, sate their egos. Or when I was working at CUNY, they talked about, oh, I want somebody with a sales and customer service background because they're uncomfortable about the whole idea of a black man going out here and writing a single book. I mean, you're uncomfortable talking about you want somebody with a sales and customer service background when publishing is sales and customer service. I have to go out here and sell to literary agents and publishers. When I go out here and do a query, I have to go out here and provide customer service in being professional, which is what I do right now. When I go out here and I promote books right now on Amazon right now, I have to provide customer service when I'm doing live streams right now, and I provide customer service when I'm on the chats and stuff. And I also go out here and sell when I do guest appearances on different shows. Again, this is the kind of thing that you run into from people who have a small perspective of the world. And because they have a small perspective of the world, they don't see what you can do. All they want to do is just, again, fit you in boxes because they want, again, to be able to have their smooth world. And again, don't see how they can destroy your world after you spent years trying to get yourself together, after you spent time to, again, pull yourself together and try, and it's just a struggle to get this information. They don't see the damage they do to people. I mean, they don't see the damage that they do because, oh, I'm going to get this person fired. I'm going to get this person out. This is one of the things that disgusts me as related to some people in the workplace. You want to, again, get this person out. And then some of them want to talk about bringing their friends in, friends who have less qualifications, friends who have less ability, and want to bring them in and then get you out, keep you from being able to make a living. Meanwhile, they bring this hood rat or whatever person they bring in. The person only lasts 2 weeks, and because they're not happy. And again, this is the kind of thing that they do to your business and cost you money, cost you a bunch of cash, cost you a bunch of productivity. And again, I just absolutely disgust me because these people have just some nerve. They have some nerve to go out here and try to get a person fired, and get a person fired because they're in their feelings, get a person out of a job, have a person out here struggling, have a person out here trying to find a new lead or trying to find a new way to get work because in their arrogance, they want to sit there and believe, oh, this person doesn't need this job. No, I know somebody better. And again, presuming to know better than the employer. This is the arrogance that these people have. And this is the thing that, again, absolutely disgusts me. How they can just, again, think that they have this audacity to think, oh, I have a right to get somebody fired, and think that they have this right to go do this. And again, this is just extremely reprehensible behavior. You think you have a right to get somebody fired and think that it's okay to go do this. And this is where, again, it just absolutely disgusts me as related to things. You have a right to take away a person's ability to make a living because you're in your feelings. You're just upset. You think you have that right to go do that. That in and of itself just shows what a monster and inhumane person you are. And again, this type of person will sit there and, after getting somebody fired, think that this is okay until they wind up having to reap what they sow, later than what they sow, greater than what they sow, because you did somebody dirty. You did somebody dirty, tried to get them out of a job, and then the whole thing is when you get that back, you will feel that later on. And again, people don't really think about this kind of stuff. No, they just sit there and think, oh, I'm going to get somebody fired. I'm going to get somebody out, not understanding the damage that they do to a person's life. And this is something that, again, it's one of those things that just gets on my nerves because people don't appreciate their station in life. They don't appreciate where they are. They don't appreciate the place that they are, that God has given them. I mean, I think about it now after being out of work for 15 years. I think about losing that job 15 years ago. And it just really, again, I think about, people, they don't appreciate how blessed they are to be able to continue having a place to work, having a way to pay their bills, having a way to go out here and have a place to stay, having food to eat. People don't appreciate these things, and they don't appreciate them because they basically take them for granted. They take them for granted to the point where they become so entrenched in these jobs that they become so arrogant to believe that they have a right to get somebody fired, not understanding where that person is coming from. And if you had to walk a mile in those shoes, like my shoes, walking to go to different jobs, running into these HR brick walls, and never being able to even get interviews or people who are even enthusiastic during an interview or even trying to make an effort, if you had to deal with all of that, your whole perspective would change, and you wouldn't think to get somebody fired. No, you wouldn't think to get somebody out of a job if you had to go through a struggle to find another job or wind up in a place where you had to struggle to get to a place. I mean, if you had to really think about, and it's related to dealing with that struggle, you would never do that to somebody else or think about taking somebody else's job. No, you wouldn't think about doing those things because you would understand, again, this job was an opportunity. It was an opportunity for you to go out here and build your life, and you were blessed with the ability to go build that life. You were blessed to go out here and be able to build that way, to make that life for yourself, and you would appreciate what you have. But a lot of people, especially here in America, don't appreciate the opportunities that are provided to them. No, they take them for granted, and they take them for granted because they basically think, oh, there's going to be another job, but sometimes there's not another job. And again, that struggle to get to that job, it's possibly life or death for a person. I mean, I think about homeless people or people just starting out. This is life or death for them. This is either I'm starting to move myself ahead or I'm going back to the streets. Again, people don't think about where a person is coming from. All they're thinking about is where they are right now. And that type of arrogance, that type of selfishness absolutely disgusts me because that just goes against God, because you're supposed to be thinking about your fellow man and where your fellow man is coming from. where your fellow man is coming from. And if you have a right to work, that man should have a right to work as well. And you don't have a right to try to take away that person's right to work. Because again, that person, you don't know where that person is coming from. You don't know where that person is in their station in life. You don't know where that person is coming from and what struggles they had to get there. I know I keep repeating, but I want you to understand how frustrating this is, how frustrating it is for a man out here. Again, men want to go out here and do things, and people want to go out here and do things, whether they be coming from different lifestyles. That's one of the things I've learned, is to, again, treat people the way I want to be treated, and I wouldn't want to take somebody out of a job. No, I wouldn't want to try to get somebody fired to get to some so-called better person who isn't really better, but is just a reflection of the dysfunction that these people have. No, I don't want to do that to someone. No, I don't want to do that to someone at all. No, that wouldn't be the love of God in me to do that to someone, try to get them fired. No, I want to go out here, and if I hire someone, I believe in their ability. I believe in their talent. I trust their talent. I trust them because I know that I look at this person's work based on the merits and it's good. And again, people will go out here and they want to say things like, one guy tried to talk about the art on my book covers, and I again had to stand up for my artists and stand up for their work. Had to stand up for them because, again, some of these guys, they do this because they want to get somebody fired or they want to get somebody else in there, but they don't know where this person is coming from. And again, I don't want to do unto people that what was done unto me. I don't want to give back what was given to me as related to the job market. And if I ever got established someplace, I would never want to go out here and get somebody fired, because the first thing I'm going to do with a new hire is let them know that they are welcome, let them know that they have a place in my company, let them know that they are in a safe place where they will be respected for their work. And that if somebody wants to get that person out and they're trying to get them out, the first thing I'm going to do is show that person the door, because that's not the type of business I want to run. No, in my way, if I were to get SJS Direct expanded, what I would want to do is, again, create a work environment where people can feel comfortable about working as related to having job security. If you're doing your job, you're still gonna work. But the whole thing is that if you are doing your job, you shouldn't have to worry about people trying to get you fired, because that's not competition. No, that's just cruelty. And again, cruelty is something that I don't stand for, because as someone who's been treated cruelly in the workplace by coworkers, again, they getting people fired. This is the worst thing that ever could happen. And again, this is not what you want in your workplace. You don't want people, again, getting people fired, because if they're getting people fired, then the thing is that they're going to get you on a road to going out of business. Now, if you want to learn how to identify workplace predators like I talked about in this video, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping in the Workplace, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And if you want to continue to help support the channel, you can pick up many of the books on the SJS Direct imprint in fiction and nonfiction on Amazon.com and other online booksellers like Draft to Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me be able to continue to stay on the internet and stay on the air and continue to making content, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spinsterella. Discover the dark side of love in this goth and lovely romance with Spinsterella. Get Spinsterella in paperback and e-readers at your favorite online bookseller today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.